Maul is in a place where he's gotta, if he's gonna rebuild power and go after the people he thinks he should really suffer for what's happened to him.
The Maul will never be our ally.
Look, congratulations on this series. I loved every single episode. I saw the first 8. I think I got 2 more to go, and I cannot wait to see how this wraps up. But what I love about this series is that it feels like it's hitting Star Wars from different angles all at once. It's a revenge story, an underworld story, a survival story, and there's really fascinating push and pull between Maul and Devon. But Sam, what grabbed me right away was that Maul doesn't feel like he's rebuilding here. He feels like he's on a revenge tour. How much of the story is really about Maul taking back power, and how much is it about making sure that the criminals who thought he was finished and count him out, he gets revenge on?
Well, he can't build power unless he makes it very clear that you must take him seriously. And
Yes.
no one's going to be able to take him seriously if the people that screwed him over aren't dealt with, and very publicly. So it's sort of he starts this series in kind of a house cleaning place. He's got to make sure that the people that said they were going to be there at the end of the Clone Wars, the ones that scattered, the ones that betrayed him, the ones that ran off with some of his money or ran off with a spaceship of his, he's got to make sure that each and every one of them is dealt with.
Yeah.
And he has a larger plan in place, but he doesn't see how, because right now, he's kind of not slumming it, but a little bit. He's taking care of these minor folks. But then something miraculous happens in the first episode that he did not count on. He encounters something he thought was extinct,
Yep.
Which is essentially a Jedi. It blows his mind. He's like, what? So that changes the whole thing. It accelerates his plan, and suddenly his ambitions grow much, much greater because, Maul has been for now several months having visions of someone that he could perhaps train.
Yeah.
And guide and perhaps use maybe a little bit. And in his mind, that's probably going to be a long, long process. However, that's not what he discovers. He discovers someone who's already trained. So that's very interesting. I don't know if that's something I should say for someone that hasn't seen episode 1. What can I say about if you haven't seen episode 1? Here's the version of the answer. Maul is in a place where he's got to, if he's going to rebuild power and go after the people he thinks he should really suffer for what's happened to him, he's got a credibility issue. He's got to make sure that anyone that's betrayed him is very publicly dealt with.
Yes.
And other than that, he is just trying to, this is what's interesting about this story is it's the first time that Maul is really sitting down and going, oh my God, who am I?
Yeah.
Because in the Clone Wars, he's doing what his master trained him to do. Secure a base of power, build an army, do all these things. This is the first time he's really on his own. He doesn't even have Savage Opress, his brother. And so he is asking of himself a lot of questions. Who am I? How am I different than my master, the Emperor, who's created this grotesque, ugly, mechanized empire? And what is it that I must do about this empire? So, yeah.
And I think you add a whole new layer to Maul, too, as we dive deeper within the series. But Gideon, what makes Devon such a great way into this story is that she's carrying so much uncertainty. She's on the run, she's disillusioned, and she's living in the aftermath of a galaxy that completely failed her. What do you think Devon's still holding on to when we first meet her?
Well, I think that even though Devon will never admit it, that there is trauma there, and she wants to protect Master Daki, and also she wants to protect herself, but really her allegiance lies in protecting Master Daki and trying to figure out how to survive in this new sort of life of secrecy that she's living in the moment with Daki. Completely under a cloak, living off of the streets, trying to eat. And I think what I find so interesting about her is that she's been through so much already and so much trauma has riddled her, but she's not afraid like most Jedi. But I think with Devon, she's not afraid, but she's jaded already. And she's very smart. She understands the history of Maul. She's heard about Maul. And when she feels him and they come in contact, she relates to him on a level that maybe she couldn't ever really even relate with with Master Daki on. It's just a different understanding that she doesn't understand. And I think that's why she also has so much anger. She's so annoyed because um she doesn't see Maul as a person that she is, or maybe she doesn't want to admit it, but as the story goes along, she recognizes that she is more similar to him than she could ever imagine. And there's a comfort in that, I think,
I
for her.
actually wanted to follow up on that exactly. And this one's for you, Sam, because what I really like about the Maul and Devon dynamic is it doesn't feel simple. It feels like two people who have been shaped by a broken system in very different ways. For you, Sam, what makes that connection deeper than just a dark side temptation story?
Well, he can see a lot of himself in her. He understands what she's going through because he went through a version of the same thing. So what's interesting is as the series goes on, if you, no matter who you are, whether you're Darth Maul or whether you're you, if you recognize yourself in a younger person, the next question is, what is my responsibility to that younger person? You know, how should I treat that person? Should I treat that person the way that I was treated by my mentor? Oh, maybe not. That's maybe not the right thing. I mean, Maul has made the decision that he must be morally superior to Darth Sidious. Otherwise, Maul deserves all the suffering he's ever gotten.
Right.
But if he's morally superior to Darth Sidious, then he can be righteously indignant. But with that comes some responsibility. The interesting thing about that comparison is Maul may have intentions, he may have ideas, he may have a fascination with the idea of a connection with another being. But what training does he have in seeking out that connection? Well, he has the training of the dark side of the Force. He has the training of the Sith. So how does that work? He is not trained to have connections. In fact, he's been taught that those connections are the fastest way to get yourself killed or to become weak. So he's in a real transitional point here in his life.
Yeah, listen, this show's fantastic. I could talk about it all day. We could talk about Master Daki, the Inquisitors, Brander. This is so amazing. I love these characters, but thank you guys so much for your time. I cannot wait for people to see this show. It is incredible. Thank you.
Hey, before you go,
Thank you.
what is really cool about the show is the fact that, people ask a lot, what do I need to see to enjoy Maul Shadowlord? What homework do I have to do? The answer is none.
None.
You don't have to see anything. If you watch this show, having never seen Star Wars, having no idea who Darth Maul is, you will be able to follow it just fine. We made it for you.
Yes, absolutely. Look, thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You guys are incredible. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.